we talked about them a lot more openly, then I do think it would be a more comfortable conversation to have, and we'll be a lot more open to people coming forward and actually, like, taking these allegations seriously, not necessarily believing them, because again, people do lie. And that's the other thing, people do lie a lot. You have had situations of people lying, but there's a lot more cases where people are telling the truth, and they're in a position where they just don't have the resources to actually adequately defend themselves or to seek justice.
Yeah, I mean, because when you look at percentages of, there are false accusations that are made, but if you look at the percentage of false allegations to allegations that are not, like who really wants to become famous for that? Because no matter what, even when somebody is found to be guilty, the victims, they've got to carry that their whole lives. Nobody, there are not that many people that want to experience that or be famous for that in general. Yeah.
And not to move away from this topic, but we're going to go ahead and circle back to, how do you deal with a hero in which you learn they've done something illegal or something immoral, like in this case sexual assault, but you, like, how do you deal with the art? How do you deal with trying to put this person and their actions into context? We've been talking about Hollywood figures and figures in the music industry. I know you wanted to bring up Mel Gibson. Now, he's not a hero of mine, nor do I find him admirable in any way. But but there are a lot of people who liked his movies, right?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't a hero of mine either. But
yeah, but
Max is a hero. Mel Gibson's
he used to be someone who used to be super popular, and then he made some comments.
Yeah, he was very specific comments.
And then he became not so liked anymore. But also, people, there's been reports that he was saying things behind the scenes about Jewish people, Black people, etc. So, and I remember watching some of Mel Gibson's movies when I was young, and I used to be a fan of his, and then I learned that information. I was like, well, I guess I didn't like those movies as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge component of it, is how invested you are, to begin with. How invested you are, where it's like, how much of a hero is that person to you? Now, Mel Gibson he made some movies that I enjoyed a lot as a kid. Like, I used to think The Road Warrior, which is the second in the Mad Max series, was one of the best action films. I would say top 15, if not top 10 action films of all time. And I would say that Fury Road, which is the newer one they made with the other actor, the guy that plays Venom in the new movie, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, they did an actor switch, which was really smart. They took Mel Gibson out and they put a younger, more virile Tom Hardy in there to play the Road Warrior. But that original Road Warrior movie was excellent. But that said, I haven't seen it, since all this stuff came out. But that's me personally. I think, I wouldn't create a hard rule for everybody. I wouldn't say like, oh, you shouldn't be listening to them. Like, it's up to everyone really to decide what they want to do about this, how they're going to place these people into context. I would say I would be careful about defending these people just because you happen to like their art, because, in that way, there should be a separation. Like, somebody can be a great actor or a great director and a great musician and still be certifiably insane or be like a very bad person, so to speak, or a person who's done very bad things. Those are not mutually, those can be mutually exclusive, So what do you do? I mean, I've had some, there was like a metal band called Pantera that I used to like. I used to enjoy their music. And then the singer started going on, back in the early 2000s, started going on these like kind of racist tirades, like at their concerts. Not necessarily like really overtly racist, but you could feel underpinnings of what he meant. You know, he'd be like, look, you know, some black people are all right, but kinds of conversations, you know, which is like an early precursor to Trump. It was like those kinds of like unhinged rants, you know, and I couldn't listen to their music, and it culminated to something about, I think it was about 4 years ago. He was at some it was some kind of benefit show and doing some songs with Dave Grohl and other people. And at the end of the concert, he gave like a big Sieg Heil to the audience and said white power, like yelled it in like one of those metal grunts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, death metal. He said that shit, you know, and people, a lot of people, but at that point, like, I already knew there was, you know, there were a lot of rumors going around that this guy was a racist, you know. So for me, I can't listen to their music the same way. I cannot listen to it the same way. It's just, it's always in my mind, this person, this is coming, but that's just me, you know. I'm very intense about the stuff that I listen to and the stuff I support. I cannot ask everybody else to have the same intensity that I do as far as that goes, you know, but I do think it's important, if you are going to do it, you know, we have to find some ways to put this into context, you know, as we're listening to and enjoying it.